Okay, so this is FM10, this is section 5.7, graphing, and if we're going to take a look at B here. If we want to graph this, okay, what we want to do is we want to do a table of values, and we want to pick some, 2 or 3 values at least in order to plot them onto the graph. And so you always start with x, and you can choose some values for x. Now if you take a negative value, so like -1, let's say, for an x, then you put -1 in here for the x, and that becomes -3 times -1 plus 5. That's what y equals, or g of x. Remember, g of x is just function notation. That's the same as y, really. So what's this? This is positive 3 plus 5. That would be 8. Does that look right? -1, 8. Okay. Let's do the 0. So if we do 0, put a 0 in here, well, that term is just gone. That's 0. So y equals 5. And then what happens if we put a positive value like 2 in there? Well, -3 times 2 is -6, right? So -6 plus 5 is -1. So I don't know what 3 points you used, but if you did this correctly, this should be a straight line. They should be in a straight line. So let's just see. So -1, 8. Let's say this is -1, and let's say this is 8. Okay. So -1, 8 is going to be a point right there. Let's move that 8 over there. Okay. So that's the x coordinate of -1. So you always start at 0, right? And you go left or right for the first one, and this is going to be left 1. And then you go up or down for the second one. And this is a positive, so that means we go up. 0, 5 is the next one. So we go left or right 0, and we go up 5. So let's say this is 5 right here. So there's our point right there. Point's not, oh gosh. The point is not 0, 0 there, so yeah, okay, we'll just have to leave that there. All right, that's not a point. And then 2, -1. Okay, so 2, let's go 1, 2, and -1. So -1 would be about here. So 2, -1. You see those 3 points? And then if we draw a line through those points, let's see how well I can do this. Okay, we'll do that. We'll move it over, hopefully. Let's see how well this is working today. Not well at all. Move that up. Okay, so let's just say that goes through all 3 points. That's as close as I can get it. But that would be your line. So it's got a negative slope, right? It's got a negative slope. It's got a y-intercept of 5. And it's got an x-intercept of somewhere between 1 and 2, maybe 1.7 maybe, or so. Or 1.5 maybe. Okay? So does that help? Okay. Yeah. Anybody else have a question about that? Okay. One thing we're going to be learning next chapter, and I think I've mentioned it a couple times before, but do any of you know what form of a line this is? Like I say, we're going to learn more about this next semester. But I think I've mentioned this, haven't I? Y equals mx plus b. Have you ever seen that before? No? Some of you have? No? Okay, we'll learn more about this next chapter, but this is the slope y-intercept form. And what that means is if you have an equation in this form, which this is like our y, this is our m right here, and this is our b. And so the m is the slope. The b is the y-intercept. And so when we have a -3 slope, that means that's the exact slope of this line. And the positive 5 there, that's the y-intercept. So the line should pass through y equals 5. So we'll study forms of a line, equations of lines next chapter. But yeah, it's good to know that.